Hey you guys, back again with some messages. Well, I got some downtime. I'm gonna record them, but this message God dropped in my spirit a few days ago, and I remember in this time I wrote it down. But when people are in everyone else's business, 9 times out of 10, um, they have problems of their own that they don't want to deal with. 9 times out of 10, they have issues that they're running from and that they are trying to avoid instead of fix. 9 times out of 10, they're deflating, right? And 9 times out of 10, they try to expose everybody else's problems and what they got going on because they don't want nobody to know their own, which is very, very childish and then very, very dangerous and unhealthy because those type of people um, are the ones that lack accountability. Those type of people are the ones that don't want to face challenges, and those type of people are the ones that constantly like to keep stuff going and stirring up as far as drama and all those other things because they don't want to deal with the man in the mirror, right? A prime example, you will all, if you see someone that's always in somebody else's relationship and always in someone else's business as far as like their relationships, whether it's marriage, dating, and creating all these false narratives and false accusations, are the main, are those be the main ones that have issues within their own personal relationships that they cannot face themselves, or they're too fearful to face themselves, um, or they're having problems within their relationship themselves, and they try to sit there and act like everything is all good when everything is not all good. Those type of people in this season, in this hour, you need to stay away from. I'm just gonna be honest with you, because like I said, always being in somebody else's business, gossiping, spreading rumors, lies, that's a form of witchcraft. And then two, that's drama. Because I promise you, these people are coming to you, talking to you about other people. They are going back, lying and saying the things that you said, or they're going to lie and say that you said things all together. Because like I said, these type of people are messy, right? And so please believe when these people are in everyone else's business, it's because they have issues within their own self, their own lives that they need to deal with and they need to address. And like now that I got to a place where God has like completely separated me from people, I realize now, and God is showing me my eyes, like open my eyes and showing me that the reason why people were always in, these particular people was always in someone else's marriage or always in someone else's business and spread around rumors and lies is because, for one, they wasn't happy. For two, they was just trying to keep everybody else focused on everything else that's going on instead of focusing on what they got going on. Because I'm gonna be honest, when you're spiritually gifted, God's gonna show you. God's going to open your eyes, let you see different things, including what's going on with different people. And so people like that, they are trying to paint a persona and then keep you distracted with everything else, so people won't pick up in the spirit what they got going on. And so just be mindful of that in this season. If you are constantly around people that's gossiping, drama, talking about other people and other people's relationships, other people's business, spreading rumors and lies, disconnect. Because God is going to deal with them in this season, this hour. Gossiping is a form of witchcraft. And we need to stay out of those type of things. But just also take a step back, and when you start to see people that are doing this, like start doing evaluation. Don't tell them that you're doing evaluation, but start really evaluating, like, why is this people just choose to do all this stuff and keep everything stirred up, right? And then it's a difference when you're talking about facts, but it's another difference when you're creating a false narrative um, to spread rumors and lies, right? And you know, a lot of people that I'm seeing or have seen, they create a false narrative to create rumors and lies to paint a picture like everything is going well, a perfect picture, when it's not. Everything is not going well. They're doing that to deflate. Y'all, I have known somebody that will point out, excuse me, y'all, everybody else's so-called relationships, or would paint a false perception about someone else's relationship because um, deep down, realistically, they're in an unhealthy relationship. And so misery loves company. Thank you, Holy Spirit. And so what they were trying to do was plant seeds of misery or seeds of discord or seeds of confusion amongst other people in their relationships because they were experiencing that in their own relationship. But at the end of the day, it's like you have control over your situation. At the end of the day, God told you to leave that situation, so you choose to stay. So don't go around trying to make everybody else's marriage miserable or their relationship miserable because you're miserable, right? And so that's what this person was doing. And then, like, I really had to take a step back once, like, me and this person are no longer in connection, and I realized they ruined relationships and friendships with different people, because they gave off a false narrative when it wasn't that. It's just that they're in a bad relationship. They're in a bad relationship to where they're constantly being cheated on. They're constantly being taken for granted. And so because they're always in that constant state of being taken for granted and being cheated on and not being respected, they feel like every man is the same. And that's projecting, and that's not dealing with your issues, right? And you can ruin really true good friendships, valuable friendships, when you do that. And this person did. I remember I asked this person because one of their friends that they know had bought a new house, and I was like, hey, were you able to go visit that person? Like, did that person have a housewarming? Like, how did that process go for them? Like, just checking in, because like I know the lady too, or whatever. She's a nice, sweet young lady. She was actually a customer of mine too as well. And again, this person, she was like, no, they didn't invite me. I don't know where they stay, blah 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 blah, and I'm not worrying about it. But it dawned on me the reason why she didn't invite her to her new house with her husband is because this particular person created a false narrative of her husband cheating on her, and that was not the case. It was just her insecurities kicking in, and she's wanting to create a false narrative, and she wants to be and want to make it seem like her marriage is not all way intact when it really was, right? That's why you got to be on one accord with your spouse. And so when she revealed herself to that person, exposed herself to that person, because I mean, when she was really painting a false narrative to the point to where it's kind of like I believed it. I was just like, well, pray on it before you talk to her or whatever. But if he's giving all these signs or whatever, and you feel like that's your friend, you should tell her, y'all have a conversation. But I will pray on it. But she was just taking it to the left. I don't know what their private conversation was, but after their private conversation, they really didn't hang out no more like that. And when her friend, or the mutual friend that we had, bought a new house, she wasn't welcome there, and she's not allowed around her husband, which I don't blame her, because you don't do stuff like that, right? Because the way she was talking, she was acting like she had like valid receipts and stuff like that, but she didn't. She was just going off of her insecurities and going off of her own personal issues that she was dealing with. And that's what happens when people tend to be all up in your business. So or you tend to be all up in someone else's business, and mind the business that pays you. I tell people, mind the business that pay you. All right, if you ain't got no receipts, you ain't got no full hard proof, mind the business that pay you. Pray about it, keep it moving. But when they are in everyone else's business, 9 times out of 10, they are deflating or trying to disguise their own issues and problems within their own life. And if you are experiencing this, if you are around people that are like this, get from around them, because they're trying to make you miserable because they're miserable. Okay? And misery loves company. So, all right, you guys, I love you all. I pray that you all have an amazing day. We're not going to be around no negative Nancy's in this season. Make sure you get from around these people, and I will chat with you all later.